Reverend Mallory as the Grand Marshal of our 27th Annual Independence Day celebration, presented this 5th day of July, 2015. I'm going to give you that plaque to hold up towards the camera there. And I can't tell you enough about Reverend Mallory. He is, I consider him a friend, I consider him an advisor, I consider him a huge asset to our community. He helped us move ahead and found the Dr. Martin Luther King Community Center. He has helped us in grants and research. He has assisted the Township Committee on many occasions, and he is just a lifetime asset to this community. And I'm so proud to know him, and this community should be so very proud to have him as an active participant after other people might have said, oh, I'm going to retire now and put it away. When David retired from his work with the state of New Jersey, I think he doubled his capacity at that time to do more and more. And again, we're very proud.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And it's always a pleasure to be of service to this community. It's a beautiful place, and we love it.
Now, just a week or so back, I guess it's about a week and a half ago now, we asked Reverend Mallory at a very difficult time if he would consider making a speech to our township via our televised Township Committee meetings. The one that was held at the end of June, I think June 26th, and that particular meeting was at a most trying time for America. We've had a lot of difficult times in the last year or two, but certainly what happened in Charleston, South Carolina was a shocker to the world. And I knew if there was one person who could lend a resounding voice to this issue, I believed it to be Reverend David Mallory. And he put a speech together called Making Our World a Better Place. Now, Dolores Campari, our special events chairwoman, wants to say something now. And then Reverend Mallory, we've asked him to recite that speech again for you this afternoon.
They've got a big area.
Thank you, Mayor.
In the dirt.
On the night of June 17th, a white man opened fire in a historic black church on a group during a prayer meeting. A 21-year-old male murdered 9 people that evening, which the authorities called a hate crime. What this demented individual might have thought would cause a big rift between blacks and whites did the exact opposite, and we saw evidence of it throughout the country. People of all color, race, and religious affiliation came together. Churches everywhere called for unity, and thousands marched at both ends of a bridge in Charleston as a show of solidarity. The massive crowd held hands and sang "For the Light of Mine." I know we've all felt a sense of loss and sorrow for the families of the innocent victims. As Mayor Shrillo said, he asked Reverend Mallory to prepare a speech to give during the televised committee meeting. I was there to hear it and was moved with the compassion and the forthright words that he said. As we gather here today to celebrate our country's birthday, I want to remind you of how lucky we are to have all the freedoms we enjoy each and every day. We are all Americans who deserve respect from each other no matter what our color or religion. I am so proud to be a resident of Univista Township and love the people who live here. I believe that most of us live in harmony and respect for each other. At this time, I would like Reverend Mallory to step up to the podium to repeat that speech. But first, I would like to ask a favor of everyone here. As a show of respect and unity, I ask that everyone come forward to form circles around the gazebo, holding hands and joining together in solidarity. So please come forward as a group. Come on, people. Let's circle the gazebo a couple of times. That's it.
I really think it's cool, but I would straighten it out. That's good. It doesn't look good. I'm gonna be in the middle.
We can go all the way around the gazebo. Come on, we need a lot more people.
That's with you.
He's like,
Still have more coming.
July, we can go out on Saturday night.
That's good.
Yeah, end of July.
We have 2 rows almost all the way around the gazebo.
We're going to let Reverend Mallory begin with his speech at this time, making our world a better place. If you haven't come over here yet and you feel compelled, please do as he reads his speech.
Thank you, Dolores, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was looking at the display of veterans in the back by the gate, and I saw a young man from this community who was killed in Vietnam, Eddie Miller, who I knew his family years ago when we were all going to school. And I thought how important it was to see his picture on this day, to know what he sacrificed for us, that we might be here today holding hands like we are. When the mayor asked me to come and speak at the time, it was a difficult time, not only here but across the country, when we witnessed through television and news media the killing of the people in church in Charleston. So I didn't know what to say, but I sat down, and these are the words that came to me that I shared with the Township Committee. Making our world a better place. Our world is not the way we would like it to be or the way we believe it ought to be. Over the past few years, we received the reports of horrific killings from around our nation. And presently, we are pondering the recent mass killing of worshipers in a church in Charleston, South Carolina. We wonder what makes these tragedies happen. Recently, at a memorial service in Orange, New Jersey, our governor addressed that question concerning the Charleston massacres. And I quote the governor, "If we are going to try to understand it, we have to talk about it. And we have to talk honestly about it. This hate didn't come from nowhere. This hate didn't just appear out of the sky. This hate is born of racism." Unquote. The shadow of racism is long and tenacious. It passes from past generations to darken the present ones. In the world's nations and in our great country as well, children are born into cultures infested with misinformation about fellow human beings. Cultures infected with ethnic, territorial, racial, and religious discord that their ancestors created and left unresolved in their generation. And they pass this on to trouble the generations to come. The innocent souls we birth into our world deserve better. Today we may ask what we can do to make our world, our country, our community a better place. Some believe there is little any one individual can do. And yet we can recall to mind individuals who did affect change with the power of their deeds and their words. President Lincoln, who would heal our nation after a bloody civil war, quote, "with malice toward none, with charity to all," unquote. President Reagan, whose words influenced the demolishing of the Berlin Wall. John F. Kennedy, who called for citizens to ask what we can do for our country. and Martin Luther King Jr., who shared his dream of a nation whose people live in peace and harmony. When we see the enormity of the influence of these great leaders, we entertain the thought that only those of heroic stature or historic renown can impact our world. Yet every day, legions of unheralded individuals the world over, from every walk of life, young and old, wise and simple, for good or ill, are shaping our world. And we are among those legions. How can we impact our world? The answer is simple but powerful. Do unto others as you would want them to do to you. This is the most celebrated guide to how we as individuals can make our world better. Yet it seems more difficult than the arduous task of placing humans on the moon or sending spaceships out into the universe. Yet, as our governor said in his addressing the Charleston massacre, and I quote, "This type of conduct is something that only our display of our own love and good faith that's in our heart can change. Laws can't change this. We need to do more to show that we love each other." While a wave may ripple across an ocean, an act of love rendered to a neighbor, a friend, or a stranger can ripple across the sea of humanity and nurture generations. Know this, the influence of an act of love is so extensive that it is unmeasurable. Under our national flag, the diversity of people is substantial, and yet, from the wealthiest and most powerful to the poorest and the weakest, we share a most precious possession, and that is the name American. While the Charleston shooter expected that community to erupt into rioting, the families of the deceased and the entire Charleston community instead responded with love and forgiveness. That is the face of love which overshadows the despicable face of evil. May we as individuals do the same and watch our community and our world become a better place. Amen and amen.
Thank you, everyone, for participating in this special moment. And thank you to Reverend David Mallard for making this special moment possible. We have more of the program to go. Okay, we have another selection, and then we're going to go to